Ready?
Hello, and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. This is episode 24-3, and we are your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols. And every week we listen to great video game music from all consoles and all generations. Sometimes it's a little bit of a slapdash trying to get everything together, but we are here today. We are here for you.
Hopefully everybody's doing well in this crazy time, because woof. Life is such a, well, to quote a famous song, life is like a hurricane right now in many ways. And apparently, some in your home, some in my office, some in the sinkholes growing in front of our homes.
Yeah, we got lucky out here. The worst that happened was our garden got a little knocked over. We lost some plants. My Black Lives Matter sign is gone now.
And for those who are like, what are they talking about? We had a hurricane that actually came through yesterday. And
all day yesterday. Just a terrible storm. I know it knocked out XVGM Radio, Mike and Justin Bieber.
Like, yeah, both of them lost. Stop! His name ain't no Bieber.
Yeah.
Both of them lost power, though. So they were in trouble there. But fortunately, I think they actually got their power turned back on since then. So they're back up in business.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so much, like, there's a lot of like tree damage up in this area. I assumed everything was semi-okay because nobody I know was reporting anything. But then I started seeing news reports like homes getting trashed. One of the bars I usually frequent out in Newark got flooded. Like the river came up and encapsulated the parking lot and went into the basement and just took out like much of the building. In front of my house is a sinkhole that opened up. So I started having flashbacks to that old 80s movie, The Gate, where all the demons came out of the backyard sinkhole, and I just kind of assumed that was...
I don't remember that one at all.
It gave me nightmares. Like, I'm not really scared of a lot of movies, but The Gate gave me legitimate nightmares. It sucked. Wow. But it was good, but also it sucked.
Now today everything's fine, but then like my kitchen decided to fall apart, and I've got dishes and balsamic vinegar all over my house. But yeah, so not everything's cool. Everything's here. It's
kosher.
Everything's awesome.
Everything's great when you're part of the kosher team.
Pernell, I still have a quiz for you.
Ow!
I made one last week for you.
And it's safe?
It's perfectly safe.
You sure it's not virus written or anything, is it?
No. I just need you to click this link, and you have to put in your password, and you'll have to include your social to get in to access the file. It's very normal. Everyone sees this stuff. I mean, it's just you get it all the time.
In that case, I guess it's not so bad then. So for those in the chat that can see, I think you'll get a laugh. I posted it in the Facebook group too. But so this here, I'm not sure. It's probably going to show up on the camera eventually. Yeah. So this game is called The Stranger of Sword City. Mm-hmm. Now, I've owned that game since like 2014 or so. It was supposedly, hard to come by, all kinds of junk. And then out of nowhere, Chris Murray sends me a link today on the old Facebook. Apparently, NIS is re-releasing that along with another game, like a sequel game on the Switch. So as of now, I'm officially like cracking it open to utilize it finally before it becomes an obsolete product. I feel like that's become my thing lately. I'll buy a game, never play it. It gets ported to the Switch, like literally the Switch, and it's like, oh crap, time to go play that game that is now like worth $5 or worth $100, depending. But still, it's got a better version coming out real soon. Mm-hmm. So I'm like chasing the past. It's an odd feeling.
I know. I'm with you. I do the exact same thing all the time.
No, you don't. You have like 4 games that you purchased.
Well, they're all from the past.
Oh, touche.
Yeah.
Well, that's something to say. Like, imagine if you bought, Crosscode, and then you didn't start it, you left it there, and then somebody announced, double Crosscode, the crossing, and then you realize that your sad product on your eShop sale purchase is just now dead weight, waiting to be played, knowing that there's a better version just around the corner. Or, I don't know, having purchased Persona 5 knowing that Royal exists, but you didn't buy Persona 5 yet. You're kind of hanging on that one, so you dodged that bullet.
I'll get there. I'll get to Persona 5 5 years from now.
Nah, you're gonna probably start playing when it becomes Persona 5 Regicide. That's when you'll get on board.
Well, I don't even know what that means.
Well, I already have Persona 5, then Persona 5 Royal. Next one's Persona 5 Regicide.
Okay, I understand that. Not at all. He shakes his
Jesus.
head knowingly. All right, so last week, Pernell and I had a wildcard episode because I did not have my calendar in order. I still don't. Things are up in the air. These are the times that we live in, and that's okay. But we wanted to, extend this out to our listeners, and so for every Patreon episode that we do every month, we ask for suggestions, not just topics, but musical suggestions so we can play on this episode. And if you would like to write a testimonial about your track suggestion, why it means something to you or why it fits the topic, it's very much in the vein of one of the greatest VGM podcasts that was ever on the internet, the VGM Jukebox. Can't think of the name for a second there. The VGM.
Oh my God, you got balsamic on the brain, sir.
I got balsamic all over me. It's terrible. I'm going to be showering and smelling it. But I'm not anyway. So their entire show was musical suggestions and testimonials. It was like a radio call-in show. It was beautiful. And so that's what our episodes are like today, once a month. And if you are a Patreon supporter of the show at any level, patreon.com/rhythmandpixels, you get access to these live streams. We post them on Patreon. There's a little secret Facebook group we try to get you invited to, if we remember to do that, and you get there too. So as soon as it comes up every month, the little link goes up there. You click the link, and then you see me and Pernell. Sometimes we're sitting next to each other. Right now we're not.
Sometimes one of us is scratching our head.
Yeah.
Wondering where all my hair went.
It's cool.
That person is me.
That's cool.
That person is me.
It's intentional.
I'm the bald one.
Intentional.
I'm not intentionally bald.
Well, because you're not spending energy growing hair. That energy is getting used to build muscle and brain power.
I'm still working on the muscle and brain power. So the brain power is coming along smoothly. The muscle, not so much. I'm getting back into exercise in a psychotic way. I've decided to make it an obsession between now and October. So today was different because the show was today, but I'm going to try to go back to the exercising, working out every single day bit.
Yeah, you still have time. You can do it before work. You can do it right after work.
I can never do it before work. I would die. I tell you. Well, they asked me to come to work.
Are you truly obsessed? I don't think you're really obsessed.
Oh, I'm going to be. I don't have much time left, so I got to brush it out. So here's the thing, though. Like, my job asked me, my start time at work is 8 a.m., okay? And I thrive. I'll admit I'm a lucky guy in this regard, but I thrive on the fact that I eventually do such a good job that none of my bosses eventually stop to care about the fact that I come in after 8 o'clock. My last position sucked because that guy was, like, being really jerkish about me getting there at, like, 8:02. But for the most part, I show up whenever I want. But, this particular time, I was helping with some job interviews, like some position interviews, so I had to be there at 8 o'clock on the dot. And I got there like 7:58, despite the fact that I needed to be in the chair, ready to start doing questions at 8 on the dot. I was there at 7:58, sat down, I was like, let's do this. And they were like, we want you here at 7:30 to discuss this. Like, I know how to do an interview. Just give me the paper. Let's go. We got 2 minutes. Give me. But, even doing that was insanely difficult for me to do. I am not a morning guy. So imagine saying, Pernell, wake up at 5:30 and lift some weights. Ain't happening. I'll probably end up hospitalized because of that. Drop a weight on my face.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that stuff. I mean, I've injured myself horribly just by trying to pick up a weight. So, and it's knocked me out of, and you've seen how I was. I couldn't even walk for like months. You don't want to fall down that path. What if between now and October you couldn't walk?
If I couldn't walk because my legs were so thick, I think that's such a risk I'll have to take.
If you couldn't walk because you injured yourself. because you were focused too hard.
Was it thick legitis? Is that the injury?
You know, I don't like that you're not listening to me anymore.
I'm listening to you. Oh, stop it. That's what he did. Control, power. The power's got to you.
Let's get this started, Pernell. What is your first pick out of the Patreon email mailbag situation?
Well, this comes from a game that I've genuinely liked quite a bit, but I never think to bring it onto the show. And then one particular patron who has his namesake referenced on said game had to bring it up. And he brought it up. I think this is like the second time he mentioned it, but I can't resist this.
His namesake is in the game?
That's correct.
Is it Mario?
It's not friggin' Mario. It's not Mario. It's not Mario, Robert. It's Daryl.
Oh, it's Daryl.
And that is the last Rican, whose actual name is Daryl. Picks the track from The Legend of Daryl from the game Super Daryl Deluxe, and it's composed by Adriel Genet. Welcome back. You're listening, you were listening to The Legend of Daryl from the game Super Daryl Deluxe. It's on like I know I played it on PS4, but I want to say it's on like Switch and Xbox also. And it's composed by Adriel Genet. So this game is one that I wish more people had heard of and played. I originally only learned of it because I ended up doing a review for SML and fell in love with it very fast.
Yeah, because you tell me about it. I'm like, this game looks crazy. Like, I love the hero is just Daryl.
Yeah, he's like basically the character. Well, I'll read the submission first, then I'll talk about the game proper. So, Daryl, the Last Rican's submission descriptive is for testimonial. Patreon submission for Wildcard next week. Why this song? Why not? I got a freaking theme song, man. Never played the game, but the moment I heard the song, I baited my time for submitting it for the show. And now my time is here. Heed the legend of Super Daryl Deluxe and Tremble and Awesome. I find it interesting in that regard that there's a double-edged wackiness level here. So, one, the track is fantastic.
That's very good.
Two, Daryl says he's never played the game, which for the record, he really should. Not just because it's good, but also because I would like to honestly think that the character Daryl in the game, while his theme song is awesome, the character himself should honestly, you do not want to be Daryl.
Oh no! Like, tell me about Daryl, and we're talking about not the real Daryl, but we are talking about Daryl. So tell me about Daryl.
So, while admittedly due to the virtue of how the game works, he has cool abilities because all of it's a game that takes place in a high school, and it is a high school that exists in like a bizarro reality, but also not. Like, no one acknowledges that it's taking place in a weird reality. So, he transfers to this school, and he's immediately put to the bottom of the social hierarchy. They pretty much, everyone in the school treats him like garbage. Literally, everyone. He doesn't talk because he's the protagonist, but also the game says that he doesn't even deserve a voice, hence why he can't talk. Like, they pretty much treat him like he has no mind of his own. And all the actions you do in the game are done because people tell you to do them. Not because they're quests, quote unquote, but because people literally are telling you what to do because of who he is.
Right.
But in that regard, he gets power from the fact that there's this book, like a textbook, that has techniques in it. And I'm not even making this up. The textbook's pages are scattered or have been scattered, and you can find them in different ways. Or they're sold on by customers, like bullies in school might sell you pages, or you might find them in like different classrooms and stuff.
Oh, and they're like different combos and like special moves?
Yeah, they're literally special moves, and when you find a page, that counts as a special move. So you might get a special move that results in you being able to throw bananas like a boomerang, or wielding a hammer, which becomes a mace, or an axe once you level up the attack. But the thing about it also is that, like I said, the school takes place in a weird plane of existence. So, like, let's say, for example, you go to science class. When you go in the science classroom, you're not in a classroom. You're in a weird, like, nebula where you're running atop beakers and jumping across, like, Bunsen burners and fighting, like, random, like, molecular formulas and stuff like that. Like, it's a very strange game. History class is literally you talking to, like, various historical figures.
Oh, wow.
And, like, from prancing through, like, Napoleon's camp, trying to, like, suss out like a spy and weird stuff like that. And, of course, you end up fighting a robotic teacher who beats the snot out of you. All kinds of weird stuff like that. It's a fantastic game. Yeah. Fantastic game.
I know you've mentioned it on the show before, but I think this is the most you've ever like actually described what was in the game. So I hope that if people are interested at all in that kind of wackiness and in the music that just played, the whole soundtrack is composed by this one guy. So Adriel Genet or Genet.
He did a boss job on it.
It's amazing. Boss job. It is amazing. Well, you know what's also amazing is our next track. And this was picked by our listener. We are going to go with Mixix Master. And this is the Triceratops Trot from Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo, composed by Jonathan Dunn. Dun-dun-dun.
How much trot could a Triceratops trot if a Triceratops could try a trot?
Well, how about this? We listen to the music and you just imagine like dinosaurs just getting funky. Like,
getting trotsky.
Getting stanky.
Getting trotted with it.
Get trotted. All right, here we go.
not how Triceratops
This
Trot.
is the Triceratops Trot from Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo by Jonathan Dunn.
Is that? I mean, what is all this? But this has nothing to do with Triceratops or the trotting of said Triceratops.
So I had to stop the song in the middle here because I could have sworn this sounded like something from the 90s that I listened to, and it is a group called Enigma. And the song is called Sadness Part 1. And it's very famous because it's got like really cheesy 90s techno, like chill techno with Gregorian chanting monks over on top of it. Yeah, and that kind of pan flute sound. But yeah, it sounds a lot like that, which is why I like this track a whole lot. So Mix 6 Master writes, this is an awesome game, and this track makes me want to play this game again. I need to get a Super Nintendo. I like having the cartridges and collecting them. I recently bought a NES, and I've been having a great time collecting games for it. Cheers, the Mix 6 Master.
I have to say that there's something that does feel a lot more fun about collecting carts than collecting CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever disc we're using right now.
Yeah.
It's like I sold all of my old carts, but then at some point I decided to collect just a few. Like I didn't repurchase Final Fantasy 3, for example, and Final Fantasy 2, but I do have like my Breath of Fire carts. I have my Kendo Rage. I was happy to get Kendo Rage back, and like Yoshi's Island, games like that, games that I could find that I could kind of get nostalgic with, but also not breaking the bank because the collector's market infused it with value. Earthbound, I got lucky. I bought 2 copies of it right before it boomed. Got both of them for like $30.
That's
one
insane.
of which had the strategy guide with the box and everything.
The giant box.
I kept that.
Yep.
I kept that one, but gave the other to my friend for free.
I remember your small bedroom in your old house, like how much space that box took in that bedroom.
I had no room in there, but it was
amazing.
worth it.
All right, so Pernell, you'd say you're collecting cartridges like it's your job. Now, this is a quiz that I wrote called Occupational Hazards. Okay? I'm gonna give you the video game character, and you have to give me their job.
Plumber.
Exactly, stuff like that. So this is gonna start.
Manhole cover
It's gonna
operator.
start easy, and then it's gonna get progressively stupid. Okay?
I don't even know what these jobs are.
You'll know them. All right. This is Hagar, Mike Hagar from Final Fight.
He's a plumber. No, he's not. He's a mayor.
He does hit people with pipes, though. But yes, you're right. Ding. He is a mayor of Metro City. All right. Now they're going to get stupid. All right. Solid Snake from Metal Gear.
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier.
Foxhound.
Perfect. Okay. Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
He's a ninja.
Okay, that's
From
his
the
job.
Hayabusa.
It pays very well. All right, number
No,
4.
it doesn't. It doesn't pay anything. It pays in scrolls.
Pays in scrolls. Number 4, Mr. Driller.
He's a miner who loves to dig. His dad is a miner.
He is a driller.
No, he's a miner.
All right, here's the
Loves
next
to
one.
Drill.
Number 5, Dr. Mario.
He's a real doctor.
Wrong. He's still a plumber.
No, he's not. He's a doctor. He's got a PhD.
Nope, he only calls himself a doctor. He has never gone to school. No medical school, no medical license.
I don't know, man. I think that's the secret history of Mario. He can't be a doctor in game without an actual degree. That's just otherwise he's committing a crime. That's a felony.
All I hear are complaints.
That's a felony.
Number 6. Now the rest of these are true. Rash from Battletoads.
He's a toad who works for a freaking bird scientist. Oh, he doesn't have a job. He's a party frog. There you go.
At least he
That's
did.
His job.
No, see, the Battletoads were actually a bunch of people who were transformed into toads.
Well, in my defense, you know the old line.
He is
beep Battletoads.
He is a computer technician.
Beep Battletoads.
All right, Shovel Knight.
All right. Well, he's a knight for the Holy Shovel Order.
He is a farmer.
He is not a farmer.
He's a farmer. Look it up.
He is not a farmer. He
At
is
the beginning
a
of the game, he put the shovel away and became a farmer. I mean, that's why he fights with a shovel.
That's not a job. That's just his pastime. His passion His passion, his career is knighthood.
He was born into farming, and then he picked up the shovel to save Shield Knight. All right.
As was his destiny. He was a destined knight. That's his job.
All right, the last one for now. Abigail from Final Fight and Street Fighter.
He's a glamazon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
All right. Maybe he's a bouncer.
Nah.
Or a wrestler.
He is a mechanic.
No, he can't fit under the cars.
He is a mechanic. It's in the lore.
He can't fit under a car. Was he just hold the car above his head?
He can pick them up
with his one arm.
Yeah. He maybe it makes his job easier. He can lift multiple tires at a time. He can fix
Abigail
engines.
is a gargantuan, angry man with serious issues. He is not a mechanic.
All right, let me count up your score. All right.
Can you? First of all, this quiz was rigged.
You got a C- per now.
I'll take it because it was rigged. It was rigged. C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me.
Every quiz is rigged for now.
Abigail.
He
could not be a mechanic.
He would
break more cars than he would fix. He could not be a mechanic. Has anyone in the chat seen Abigail? He is huge. He's the largest character in Street Fighter. He takes up the whole screen. And he gets angry.
Oh, yeah. But that's what he does. I mean, he's got to make a living. He's done working in the Mad Gear gang, so.
Gotta make a living.
All right, Pernell, what?
The Mushroom Kingdom, he's the doc who's best by far. Got a headache? Put a pill on it. Got cancer? Put a pill on it. Are you dead? Put a pill on it.
So Sonic Medley is typing in the Patreon I guess comment section, and he's getting all of the he got the Enigma song that I was trying to think of.
Oh, nice.
Or he got Enigma right. He thought Age of Innocence, which is the one that was their hit, that's what rose them to stardom. You remember Enigma, Pernell? I mean, they were huge.
Do not.
They're
an
all
enigma
over the world.
to me.
Yeah. Arenas.
I don't know what arenas is.
They played arenas. They played stadiums.
Like stadiums?
Yeah, I'm just joking here. I don't know.
Honestly, that's how much I know about them. That I believed you. You lied to me, Rob. I put trust in you, and you lied to me. Now I don't know what Enigma did. They're just a mystery.
Yeah, there's something like old that I was watching recently.
That's right. My pun game is still on point. It ain't going anywhere.
That's pretty good. I'll give you a C-.
Everything is C-. You know what? I deserve it. I have an A in my heart. That's what matters.
Oh yeah, we'll take that.
I got an A here.
What's your second track? Let's move on. Maybe some tunes will help. Maybe that will be extra credit to convince me.
Oh mercy! This is just cold-blooded rumple dump, man. I tell you what. But I will pick this track. This is a personal staple of mine that I went ahead and chose because I've been getting nostalgic for this lately too. So it was kind of nice to see someone else have that same nostalgia as I had. In fact, I actually got into a debate about it just this very morning. So it was a perfect fit. This came from listener Soulless Sanctuary, and it is the normal battle theme from the game Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne on the PS2 and soon-to-be Nintendo Switch, composed by Shoji Meguro. He's got a PhD, but he failed medical school.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an MD. He's got a PhD. Oh my god!
I can't believe we didn't even figure that out. Anyway.
Poor Dr. Mario.
Poor Doctor. I mean, it's just Mario. It's just Mario.
He's still got the pills. Someone gave him those pills. Okay. Are you telling me he's writing faulty scripts and getting pills for virus slaying too?
I'm saying I don't trust doctors who, when they see someone with an ailment, they just throw pills at them. And that's all Dr. Mario is doing, is just throwing pills at his patients.
I mean, in all defense, a lot of real doctors are doing that too.
I'm waiting for like a more of a holistic approach from like Princess Peach.
Just take a mushroom.
It's just healing. It's a healer. She's a healer.
I don't feel so good. I'm feeling kind of sick. Well, here, take this mushroom. Was that one of your former retainers? I don't want to talk about it. Take this mushroom.
These mushrooms are good for you.
I'll never understand that whole lore anyway. Like, she is the only human in the Mushroom Kingdom, and my best guess is that she gave birth to every mushroom person. Which is why
she grew every mushroom person, because you know where mushrooms grow from feces. So it's clear where it came from.
That would actually make sense as well.
Yeah, it's just magical. Just her poop is magic.
And she grows mushroom retainers.
That's right.
Because that's the only explanation. There's like literally never been, I guess, Daisy, but Daisy came from a whole nother kingdom, so she doesn't count. She's not from the Mushroom Kingdom. She's from the Sahasrah Kingdom. Yeah, but like she came from another kingdom. Pauline was from wherever Donkey Kong was from, so I guess Brooklyn. They just dumped her in there because they felt like it.
New Donk City.
Yeah, which is Brooklyn. That is Brooklyn. Don't let them fool you. Don't let the man get in your head, Robert. That's Brooklyn.
Well, do you want to read this testimonial from Soulless Sanctuary?
I do. Testimonial, eh? Well, let's just say that thinking of Shin Megami Tensei made me remember how I first stumbled across your podcast while I was looking for Shin Megami Tensei related stuff on my Spotify account. And here we are, me being a supporter since that time. Here's to moving forward to amazing video game music with you guys. Here's to that indeed.
Thank you.
Because we became friends with a fellow Megaton fan and a stellar artist in the process. I can't complain about that.
No, not at all.
That's a solid trade.
This is good stuff. I'm happy to not just to introduce new music to people, but also to like to share in like, oh, someone else knows this tune, or someone else remembers this game, and that's always like a good connection to make with our listeners. We don't focus like on obscure stuff 100% of the time. We don't focus like on things that are very specific, like genre specific. Like how many people who play games really know Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne?
Not enough, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. So it's cool. It's cool making those connections.
Apparently, you got a shout in the chat. Apparently, there's new Street Fighter V characters popping up.
There are, yeah.
Shock to me.
By the end of this year, there's going to be Dan, Oro, Rose, Akira from Rival Schools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then by next year, there'll be a fifth one, and that'll be the last season for this version of the game.
They should have just put 5 Rival Schools characters in the game. Let's be honest here. That series needs more love than it gets.
I know. I'm looking forward to seeing Oro in the game. I know a lot of people loved Rose.
I did too, but if it was a choice between all those revival Street Fighter characters and showing Rival Schools some love, Rival Schools would have taken it.
Now, there are Rival Schools characters in the background in one of the stages, which is interesting. God. So
it's interesting, but they don't brawl, man.
They don't do it. No.
Get it in.
Well, I mean, one of them's got like punching gloves, and she falls down a couple times.
She falls. That's Tiffany.
All right. So our next track is selected by our listener Bedroth. This is a track called Metal Beat from the game Metal Masters for the Nintendo Game Boy, composed by Alberto Jose Gonzalez. You're listening to Metal Beat from Metal Masters for the Nintendo Game Boy, composed by Alberto Jose Gonzalez. And this is a serious jam. If you aren't dancing wherever you are right now, if you're in your car, if you're walking down the street, if you're in the shopping center, if you're at the Acme wearing a mask, I mean, just dance like, just pull out some glow sticks, you know, grab some popsicles, grab some fudgesicles, wave them in the air. You know, if you hit somebody, it's fine.
But you should absolutely care. Wave your hands like you somewhat care, so as to avoid hitting bystanders.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, but if they get a fudgesicle out of the deal, it's fine.
Yeah, fudgesicle.
But anyway, Bedroth would like to say, have you guys ever played Metal Beat from Metal Masters by Alberto Gonzalez? That's my knee-jerk wildcard pick. I may have another idea, though. Let me know. I don't think this is a testimonial. I'm just reading his email.
We still love Bedroth, though. He's awesome. He's actually been, like, I've been having, like, fun chats with him, too. Like, just gabbing about life stuff.
He's a good dude.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike has to officially leave now. That sucks. Or he probably already left while I was going.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Peanut butter. Yeah, I've been chatting with Bedroth a good bit about just random stuff now.
Oh, that's
pretty
good.
Solid
Yeah.
time. And like, I honestly, I like the honestly that's the best. That's one of the best things about this show. Like, we get to chat with a bunch of different people that honestly I don't think we would have met half the people in this thread.
No,
were it not for this show. If not any of them, except for I think at most would have been Daryl because I know Daryl.
I mean, and even me too. Like, I don't like reach out to a lot of groups on the internet, and I don't normally travel to like game conventions and stuff like that like I used to, like when I was younger, and so this is really I can hear the cat. I was wondering what that was. That was the TV in the other room. It's the cat outside my door meowing
about the TV.
He's just saying, let me in. But no, like I don't go to like conventions and stuff. Like, you know me, I'm not super social like that. But doing this show and getting involved in these communities has, you know, encouraged me to go out when it was safe to do so. And it was really it was great to meet people and say hi and shake hands when it was safe to do so. It was awesome in a different life.
Well, honestly, I'm in the logic now where like shaking hands is still safe to do so as long as I dunk my hand in sanitizer before and or after.
Right.
So it balances out. I make concessions. I make do. You make how I can.
You make do. You make do. You make do.
I do not.
All right, what's your final track?
So, my final track from this episode comes from listener Chris Murray. Ooh. This track is a track that I can honestly, wholeheartedly say I would have never chosen for this show. So I'm glad he submitted it, because it's very good, but also from a game that I would never play.
Take it home, Pernell.
Talk about in a bit.
Testify.
So, this track comes from listener and friend Chris Murray.
Yeah.
The track is titled Ilias Final Form. It's the final boss theme from the game Monster Girl Quest.
Yep.
Composed by the Toro Resistance.
Well, yeah, we don't know the names of these composers. Doing research on this game is not something you normally want to get into, so
but that's what they said. That's the name of the composer. That's what they go by. Toro Resistance.
All right.
feel okay now. I'm on the level here. Welcome back. You are listening to Ilias' Final Form, the final boss theme from the game Monster Girl Quest, submitted by listener Chris Murray. Now, disclaimer for the show, because we gotta keep it family friendly like we do. Do not look this game up. Just know that the music sounds very good.
Yes, it's not just adult in nature. It's just not, it's not mature. It's mature and immature. It's bad. No, I'm not judging. It's got fantastic music. It's not for young eyes.
Well, I'll probably delve into that a little bit in a second, but I want to get through the testimonials here.
Yes.
Chris Murray says, I've been jamming this track so hard since I stumbled upon it a few weeks ago back during the Rhythm and Pixels Daily Video Game Challenge, BGM Challenge. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do.
I do enjoy it, yeah.
Likewise here. I will say that the funny thing about this is, I stumbled across, OSTs like this due to, if anything, I believe it was Ed Wilson's show, because there was a talk of, PC 98 games, and I can't remember, I think we were even guests on that, one of the episodes related to that, or either that, or we just took the topic and went with it on our own,
We did a PC 98 episode, and then we did a romance episode with Ed, called
that's what it was.
Romancing the Ed.
There we go.
That was a fun one.
But that's it was a great time. But I learned through that interaction, those dialogues, just how many of these types of games exist. But a lot of them tend to have really good music.
They really
and even in some cases, good narratives. Mm-hmm. And there was one that he referenced on that show called Uno, or YU-NO. And it eventually, as of last year, actually got a port to the Nintendo Switch. And everything I read about was this is one of the best narrative, visual novel games ever made. But it also has this element to it. So I had access to the opportunity to review it, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that, because I can get it for free and, come up with my own opinion on it. And to be honest, it actually is rather cool. I was surprised by what I got. I had no complaints about it. I do hate some of the character relationships, the main character, because they do that whole, male character released to X characters and X way, whatever, who cares? But the overall narrative is actually pretty cool, and the whole branching narrative plotline, which at the time was revolutionary. No other game had done that. So, and now we have other games like Radiant Historia that does it, which they all owe that to, the girl with the really long title, because it's a stupidly long title.
A very long title.
So, but yeah, so obviously, if you're too young for this material, don't look it up. But know that when you are old enough, there's some great OSTs to be found in these games.
Yeah, and you can look up these soundtracks independent of the games, as I do with almost every song for this podcast. I don't know many of these games. Here's one I don't know anything about. I do know the characters. This is the game Sheep Raider for the Sony PlayStation. This is a Roadrunner type game. With Wile E. Coyote, but he's not named Wile E. Coyote in the game, which is very strange. But on the one of the mixes I made, one of the mixtapes I made way back, the drum and bass mix or something like that, I put a track from this game in there because it's very, very good. This is track number 5 from Sheep Raider for the Sony PlayStation, composed by Eric Casper, and this was picked by our listener Hammock.
Hammock!
You're listening to track number 5 from the game Sheep Raider for the Sony PlayStation, composed by Eric Casper. And this was chosen by our listener and podcaster in arms, Hammock.
Hammock.
And Hammock says, I've been sitting on this track for a while. It's the haunted level from Looney Tunes Sheep Raider on the PlayStation, and it was composed by Eric Casper. Casper, haunted level, it's a match made in the afterlife.
And how?
I wasn't expecting... What?
I'm about to say, I honestly was not expecting this track to play out like it did.
Oh,
This
no.
is not Sheep Raider-esque at all.
I found one track from the soundtrack that sounded a lot like this. I didn't realize the whole thing was like this. He says, I wasn't expecting a Looney Tunes game to hit me with so many jams, but this soundtrack is full of them. This one in particular sounds like something Soichi Terada would have composed for Ape Escape. Very true. I think so too. A super fun drum and bass track for a game about stealing sheep, and don't get it twisted, that's not Wile E. Coyote in the game. His name it's Ralph Wolf.
Wait, Ralph Wolf.
Ralph Wolf.
Now that's double hit. You know where Ralph comes from, right?
No.
So, I might be wrong here, and someone in the chat might want to correct me if I'm off, but Ralph was the dog. And the relationship between, there was a Wile E. Coyote-esque character. Sometimes it was Wile E. Coyote. He was Wile E. Coyote's evil genius, and he would try to, get, the hens or whatever. And then, the sheepdog would be there to stop him. His name was Ralph. So...
Oh, we're going to look him up, man. I'm gonna find this guy. I'm going to find this Ralph, say, Wile E. Coyote, right?
Yeah, because I'm fairly positive that Ralph was the sheepdog.
Oh, yeah, that was him.
Was I right?
Yeah, that's interesting. But in the game, he's a wolf, though, so it's essentially the coyote. But yeah,
but now I'm wondering if that was intentional with the naming.
Oh no! Apparently, maybe they changed his name, but there is a Wile E. Coyote and there's a Ralph Wolf. So same thing.
Ralph Wolf.
Ralph Wolf has a red nose.
No, Carlito nailed it. No, Sam was the sheepdog and Ralph was the wolf.
There you go. Sam was the sheepdog. I like the sheepdog. That was a good one. You need to have a good foil, a good back and forth.
Well, their relationship was great on the show because I do remember this part at least. They would clock into work. Both of them would clock into work. And then they would do the whole dance of he's trying to get the sheep and Sam would stop him from getting the sheep, beating the snot out of him all the time. And at the end of the day, they would both clock out, and Ralph would just be battered up with a black eye and all kinds of mess. It's see you tomorrow.
Oh my god, that's really good. Your knowledge of Looney Tunes, I feel like I used to know them so much better.
I wish I knew them better to myself because I forgot his name was Ralph. I thought his name was Ralph, but it was actually Sam.
I was going to go with it, Sam the sheepdog. I think that's more alliterative. I like that. But
I concur.
All right, so we're going to turn this track down, and we're getting into the part of the show we call the bonus round.
Bonus round. Boom, boom, boom.
And if you want to have some fun, you get into the bonus round.
That's where the game is done.
And the bonus round is where we play covers and remixes and arrangements and any other kind of interesting bits and pieces based on our theme. So we're going to be picking some bonus round material chosen by our listeners. Pernell, what did you find? Well,
it's not so much what I found, so much as what the awesome Butspo has found. This is actually something I've never heard of from a composer I've never heard of for a game that I've all but heard of. So heard of. This is the Towns 3 Enlightenment track. That's what he titled it. It's from the game Earthbound. Composed by Cory Johnson. And holy crap, Butspo kicked it out of the park with this fantastic track. I don't know what else to say but to call it that. This is good.
This is good?
It's very good. It's Van Johnson good.
Let's listen. It's the best way to end this track, honestly.
That's how me think about Earthbound. See, I have to play that again too. I want a sequel, darn it. I want to play Mother 3 again on a console that I own with the cart that I own, not through ROMs and stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling. This track was a remix from the game Earthbound titled Towns 3 Enlightenment, or rather, it's a cover because it's a hell of a cover. Submitted by listener and friend Butsbo and composed by Cory Johnson. Time to read a stunning testimonial. Let's get it in. For this Wildcard episode, I'll have to go with a song from a pretty unique VGM cover album, Cory Johnson's post-rock take on Earthbound. I played through this SNES classic quite late around 2010, and even then, it had a pretty strong impact. If you've gone through this experience, you may be familiar with this imminent surprise of finding out that beyond the cartoony looks and absurd humor, there's a weird, deep, and even dark story about growing up and other complex themes, some of which can be open to interpretation. This album resonates quite well with that much more mature aspect of the game, expanding on many of its 16-bit jams. This track in particular being the theme for the town of Threed after you save it from a zombie invasion with good old zombie paper. The original track has a pretty optimistic mood, and I think this one keeps some of that while making it a bit more contemplative, and then building up to a pretty strong finale. If you liked it, check out the album. It has more tracks on the line, and others which are much more experimental.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yes, testimonial, track, all stellar. I can't complain. And holy crap, I am going to take a suggestion and listen to the rest of that album because, oh man.
Well, this next track is I think, one of the best things I've heard today. There's so much good music today I've been listening to. This was chosen from Wicked Sephiroth. He gave me a list, like a whole bunch of selections from it's a compilation album of music arranged and inspired by Final Fantasy VI. It's called Final Fantasy VI Balance in Ruin, and this track is called On the Run, and it is composed and with lyrics by an artist called Leitbur. I love this tune. It's got everything I love about it. It's just the synth-wavy sound of it, the vocals. That's amazing. That was On the Run from Leitbur. This was from the game Final Fantasy VI. And it was the track was inspired by the track The Returners. And this was chosen by Wicked Sephiroth.
Oh, excellent choice there. I mean, I gotta butt heads though. I like them both, but I gotta say,
I like them both too. I feel like both of our bonus round tracks were very much like very emotional. Have very long build-ups to them, you know.
All in all, though, I got no complaints by any of it.
Well, the this track came from the OC remix compilation Balance and Ruin. It is 5 discs. It is a ton of music. It is like 3 gigs. It's got art. It's got video. It's so much going on. So if you'd like to see more of that, and if you'd like to learn more about these artists, go to rhythmandpixels.com. We're going to have links to their Bandcamps and their SoundClouds and all of the pages where you can go find this music and buy this music and support these incredible artists. All right, thanks for joining us for episode 24-3 of Rhythm and Pixels. This is our listener-submitted Patreon live stream show, Wildcard exclusive episode 300 exclusive Power Hour type thing that we do.
300?
Here. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, wait, this is our 300th episode. I'm pretty sure of that.
No, we're getting close though.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly. But yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for listening to our show. Thanks to all of our Patreon members who are hanging out and watching us record this episode, which we got started a bit late, but, you know, things happen. We have lives and our houses, you know, fall apart sometimes. But this final track, we usually have like a little lead out track that me and Pernell kind of talk about and settle on together. But this last track was submitted by Cameron Werma.
And this is the Sky Tower theme from the La-Mulana remake. And it was composed by Houryu Samejima. And I have to read his testimonial because it's a nice testimony. I can get behind it. So, he says, I'm submitting this track hoping that Pernell isn't sick of this OST. Spoiler alert, I am not. And I probably never will be. I have been at this game long enough now to have completed a lengthy JRPG in its stead. In fact, I took a break from it to do exactly that. That game being Dragon Quest XI. But I'm back at it. Having a blast, making good progress. There are tracks on this OST that get stale after a while, but some stick and never get tiresome. Sky Tower, the Tower of the Goddess theme, is probably my favorite. It's so wonderfully weird. The bass line just drives the track and makes for some of the best use of dissonance I've ever heard in a VGM track. I look forward to every section of the song, especially the transition at the end into the beginning of the loop. No matter how much time I spend in this accursed tower, which is a lot, I never tire of this bizarrely infectious gem. Stay healthy, my dudes.
Well, thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron. We're trying, buddy.
No, yeah, definitely. Oh, and thank you for the message earlier today. I meant to write back later on, but I got caught up in work and stuff. But yeah, we haven't done a beach-themed episode yet, have we, Pernell?
We should.
We should. That'll be coming up. We did a vacation episode. We did like fun in the sun episode. So I think a beach, like an actual beach, not desert.
It would fit a summer theme too. We haven't done like a summery theme for this year either.
I don't think so.
That would be it.
That'll be it. So yeah. But anyway, thank you, Cameron. It was good to talk to somebody earlier today. Had some nice words to talk about, to say things
about dialogue and life.
I don't know what happens. It gets close to 10 o'clock and my brain just like shuts off. But anyway, yeah, thanks for that track suggestion. And thanks again to everybody hanging out with us and listening to me ramble, listening to Pernell talk coherently about things while my eyes just go dead.
Hey, let's not go nuts. I'm not the most coherent person either. This is me running on, I don't know, pern fumes. Ow, whatever.
Pern fumes. Is that what your laundry smells like downstairs?
That's right. Sweet, sweet pern fumes.
Oh. Well, if you'd like to get in contact with the show, like with us, and say hi, or if you have a track suggestion or a topic suggestion, or if you're a remix artist, or if you know a remix artist and you want to get them in touch with the show, send us an email. That's the best way to do it.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
And for a full track listing from all of our episodes, access to all of our episodes, and links to everything else that we're doing, go to our website.
rhythmandpixels.com.
At the website, there's a link that takes to our Discord server. You can go there and chat with our listeners and our Patreon members. There's a link to our merchandise. We have T-shirts. We have with our classic logo. We have a classic hip hop run VGM T-shirt, which is really cool. And the new hit Atari 2600 indie title that will never be released, Lobster Racing, is. It's a whole logo made for that. So go check that out. Reasonably priced at teespring.com.
Though, worth discussing, if you like what you see on said site, Rob and I have been doing a lot of gabba gabba hey over here, and we're looking to do a bit of a giveaway in regards to giving one or two listeners a cool shirt of their choosing from the show. We didn't really come up with any sort of like game or gambit for that.
But where can they watch for it to be announced? How about that?
Honestly, a part of me, if you think we could do something more creative, let me know. But the first thought I had was write into the show at rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com and tell us one of two things, or both. Your favorite attack in a video game,
okay,
preferably JRPG because I'm dorky like that, or a favorite attack that doesn't exist that you'd want to exist in a game.
That's good, and we'll read them on the air, and we'll pick one at random, and you'll get an amazing T-shirt of your choice, or hoodie, or I think there's even baby onesies you can get. I just hit all the buttons. I hit all the buttons.
Like, you want your baby rocket run VGM? It can happen.
It can happen. So we're going to be doing that. We'll have that probably announced on all of our social media channels. Just go to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. It's Rhythm and Pixels, all one word. If you'd like to support the show, the best thing to do is just to tell people about it. Tell people that you like to listen to video game music while you're mowing the lawn, or while you're doing homework, or while you should be doing something more important than listening to video game music podcasts.
Practicing
that is what you're doing.
Practicing sweet backflips.
Yeah, you're practicing all those amazing triple backflips, karate chops, like Super Daryl Deluxe. You're listening to shows like us, and shows like KVGM The Last Wave, and shows like the VG Embassy with Ed Wilson, and shows like the Very Good Music Podcast. So there's a lot of amazing stuff out there. So the best thing to do is
starring not Justin Bieber.
Is just to tell everybody about. Yes, I know it's not Justin Bieber.
I know.
I know Justin Bieber. I know Justin Bieber very well, and that's not him.
Cripes.
But you can also support the show by going to Patreon, patreon.com/rhythmandpixels, and you can support us there. There you get access to a weekly prequel episode of me and Pernell kind of chatting and catching up, which is all the more important now that we're not really in person so frequently anymore. And So you get access to that, and you get access to a live streamed episode once a month. That this one was recorded in front of a live stream. And we also like to thank our Patreon listeners at the end of the episodes. I'd like to thank that Nick Walker, The Last Rican, Mike Myers, and our new Patreon member, Justin Timberlake from XVGM Radio, co-host to Mike Levi's.
Stop it!
Amazing stuff.
Stop it!
And he and Timberlake also does an electronic music show with Ed Wilson from the VG Embassy. It's all industrial music. So just two dudes who are into heavy industrial music from, I guess, the 90s. Super into it. So check that out. Justin Timberlake, not Bieber. I know that this time. Don't worry about that.
On a Christ.
From XVGM Radio. We also like to thank Sonic Medley, Taco, Harold Howard, Dave Taylor, Reinhard Zelkova, Andreas Milberg, Dan Loughton, Phantom Jest, Stephen Miller, The Autistic Gamer 89, Cameron Worma, Christopher Shenstrom, Bobby Arson from One Up Funk, Wicked Sephiroth, Carlos from the Heroes 3 podcast, Michael Bridgewater from twitch.tv/MeBreeC64 and the Forever Sound Version VGM podcast, and Brian Pitt. Thank you. Thank you all very much for your continued support of our show, and it means a whole bunch to us.
Thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you very much for backing us with your support, and just for being genuinely cool gents and gentettes.
Well, we haven't chosen our topic for next week, but we're probably going to hash that out sooner than later because lately I've been forgetting about it. So we're going to figure that out soon. But tune in next week for a time when I am more coherent and Pernell can yell at me about Justin's last name.
I'm going to do it, too.
I mean, it's XVGM Radio. I can plug it all day long. I'm just not going to get their names right. Anyway, I have to get out of here because I got to clean up my house from some mess that happened in the kitchen. So, my name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Have a good night and take care.
And remember, fun can be defined by any number of different people. And honestly, if you give them a chance, they will define fun. They'll tell you what fun should and should not be. Only play difficult games. Make sure to play your games through to completion. Only cook meals on Fridays. All sorts of stuff like that. And honestly, sometimes people take that a little bit too far. And they tell you that if you're not having fun their way, then you're not having fun at all, and you're a lame nut or a goober gothel or a whatever generic internet insult some random person comes up with. Because there's a lot of them. Trust me, I've seen them. But at the end of the day, it's worth remembering and noting that nobody tells you how to have fun. You tell yourself how to have fun. And the best fun is contagious. If you're doing something that you like and someone sees it and they want to do it too, then hey, maybe they'll pick up a trade and follow suit. Me, personally, I took up a habit of starting games and never finishing them because I just like starting a ton of new games.
That's a great hobby.
But at the same time, it's like I used to feel bad about it. Sometimes I still do, I'm not going to lie. But what ends up happening is, whereas a lot of people generally can talk about, games they played through to completion, they can talk about the ending and stuff. I'm almost on the other end of the spectrum where I can talk about a variety of games I've started and gotten into to say, hey, you might want to see this game to the end because I liked it enough to say that if I had the amount of time, I would have played it to the end myself. But ultimately, what I'm basically saying is you determine what's fun for yourself. You play the game on the difficulty setting you want. You do the hobby you want to engage in, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Disclaimer there. And for the most part, that's all there is to it. You enjoy your life the way you want to enjoy it. You only get one. Unless.
Pernell gets Arm & Hammer.
Or Buddhism, I don't know.